What's up, guys? It's Virtual Beats coming at you live once again from the simulation. And in today's video, I want to be talking about the secret to good vocals. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can get good vocals, the scams that go around in the community when it comes to engineering. I also want to talk about, gear that can help, aid you on your journey to becoming a good engineer, a good recording artist. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first thing you need to know when recording vocals is what mic are you using? You're either going to be using one of two mics. You're going to have the USB and you're going to have the studio microphone. Before I go into talking about these mics, I'm going to say some things that are going to make some people upset because, the truth hurts. But can you make music with USB mics? Yes. Can you record with USB mics and, rap? Yes. Are they the best option? Absolutely not. With USB mics and studio mics, what separates them are polar patterns. If you're not familiar with what a polar pattern is, this is a polar pattern. So a polar pattern shows the mic frequency rate. It shows what's being boosted and what's being taken away. So this is a polar pattern of my mic. This is a polar pattern of the Yeti. All right, I'm gonna show you what a bad polar pattern is and a good polar pattern is. So when you go to buy a mic, you'll know. When you're looking to buy a mic, type in the name of your microphone, put a space and put polar pattern graph, and you're gonna get an option of one of these graphs right here. Okay, so a bad polar pattern would look something like this. All right, so this is our line. All right, dang, that's a good line. This red thing is gonna, indicate our microphone, what our microphone can capture, what frequencies can we capture. All right, what is it capturing? So this, I'm gonna explain, how to understand what this is. This is the line. This straight line is where you want your mic frequency, where you want your mic to land on. All right, and this is the microphone. A bad polar pattern will look something like this. All right, you'll go right here and then boom, boom, boom. You have lows boosted. And how to read this, let me picture an EQ. This is the low ends, and then you go over here and you're getting more to the high ends. So this is a bad polar pattern on a USB mic. You have this boosted, right? Then you might lose some stuff right here, and then the highs are like crazy, like that. All right, so this is a bad polar pattern. Whenever you record vocals on a USB mic and you're like, why is it not hidden? Why is it not, where should I EQ? This shows you where you should EQ. Just a picture this, an EQ right here. Lows, highs. All right, you see right here, the lows on this mic are automatically boosted. And this is with no effects. This is just recording on a vanilla microphone. So I'm gonna show you how you would fix this on EQ. So if you're somebody that doesn't have, the luxury of having a studio microphone, I'm gonna show you how you would go about it. You would take this is your EQ, all right? This is FabFilter. This is Fruity EQ, all right? This is your EQ right here. You're gonna take this and you're gonna be like, all right, these lows, let me go ahead and remove this, let me bring these lows down with my EQ. Let me go ahead and, just bring these down. Boom. All right. Now I have these highs. They're let me bring those down. This right here it needs to be boosted. So you would go ahead, get your EQ, and we're going to use a different color, and we're going to go purple for this one. So you're going to be like, all right, let me take this, let me lift it up like this, and then bring some more presence. Let me lift this up. All right, so that's what you're gonna have to do with low end mics. You're gonna have to do more work, EQing, adding effects, doing all this stuff. Whether when it comes to using a good mic, this is what a good polar pattern looks like. So a good polar pattern would look something like this. All right, this is what mine looks like. I have the TLM 102. Yep, real good mic. I love it. So this is a good polar pattern. So this is our line right here. A good polar pattern will look something like this. All right. It'll stay as close as it can to this white line. All right. It'll stay really close to this white line, and then maybe it'll be like a little slightly off. It'll look something like this. So this is a good pattern. Your mic is not boosted anywhere. If it is boosted, in the highs, that's not a bad thing. But you don't have to do a lot of EQ, and it's easy. We might have to get a high, cut the lows and then push it all the way up to here, to where the EQ would look something like, like this. All right, and just ignore this section right here. Look, we'll have to cut the lows, maybe cut something right here, maybe boost this, maybe bring this a tiny bit down, and it's easy. Now, you know, this is where the scams come in. Vocal preset scams. All right, and we're gonna, you know, hate on them presets a lot in this video, so sorry if your feelings get hurt. So now we're gonna talk about, you know, the vocal preset scams. You see this right here? Chill dude, look at this, you know, based man. He's making good vocal presets. He's putting in the work. But you also don't know that this man is that this man is using this microphone and you don't have this microphone. And you want to know what the polar pattern on this mic is? Exactly. And you know what that means? He has to add less. Less is more when it comes to high-end equipment. I hope this helps you know why you have problems. So if you use a USB mic, that's fine. Use that USB mic. I'm not hating. Look, bro, I'm not hating. Use that USB mic. You know, I was struggling too, all right? I used to put socks on my Blue Yeti, all right? Let's go over why USB mics are bad, all right? USB mics are bad because you can't record with a lot of effects because you have latency. You can't use high-end stuff like, you know, you could use auto-tune, but once it comes to using different EQs, doublers, you're gonna have latency. You're gonna have to do stuff where you get your vocal track and then you slide it over to this way to line it up, because when you record, it sounds good to your ears, kind of, but when it's punched in and laying down, it's off beat. Is it possible to record with USB mics? Yes, but you have so many issues. You have latency. You have frequencies that you don't need, that you got to cut out. You got to do twice the mixing. You got to, you know, do all this stuff. And if you don't have, you know, an interface, you're not going to hear anything good on a USB mic. The thing is, if you use a USB mic, right, and you're mixing on, you know, your stock computer with no interface, and this is an interface, by the way, we're going to talk about that in a bit. And if you're mixing on this, I don't know why you would be mixing on this, all right? This is not the wave. You're not going to hear it. You're going to have this issue, all right? This is going to be your issue right here. Pretend this is you. I'm mixing the song, engineering. Oh, it sounds good. Let's play it in the car. All right. Oh my God. It's so bad. All right. I know what's wrong. The lows are right here. This stuff's bad. Let's go back. All right. Mixing it on my AirPods, mixing it on my gaming headset. All right. I think I fixed the problem. Let me go back. Oh my God. So did you see the issue? By not having an interface in headphones and using a USB mic, you can't hear. Your ears are lying to you. Your ears are lying. You think your ears are telling you the truth? They're over here saying, oh, this sounds good right here, and then this sounds good right here, and then you play it on something like actual speakers and stuff, and it sounds terrible. All right, you want to have good headphones. If you guys have good mics and you don't have headphones, you wasted your money. Headphones are what you need. Your ears are the most important thing as a producer. So yeah, you know, that's something you guys should invest into. Headphones, an interface, and studio microphone. Those are things that are key. Interfaces, you know, vary. You know, you have your low-end interface like the Focusrite Scarlett. These come in clutch. I recommend these if you're someone that's starting off, you want to learn how to, you know, mix stuff and get you some good headphones. Look, I use these headphones right here. These headphones are good. Get yourself some headphones, get yourself an interface. Interfaces vary. So you have your low end and you have your high end. What is the difference between these interfaces? Well, the higher you pay for an interface, the more you pay, you're going to have less latency. You're going to have, you know, more slots to plug in microphones, to plug in speakers, to plug in guitars, you know, more slots for headphones. And not only that, but you're gonna have maybe features. Maybe some interfaces have a built-in EQ that automatically cuts the lows, a built-in preamp. That's something that you could use to, you know, have less latency. Less latency means you can record real time. You could use a lot of effects. Now we're gonna talk about, you know, a bonus thing I want to add on to there is analog gear. You know, any professional studio, and if you want to build a professional studio at home and have, you know, the best sound possible, you need these 3 things. Well, 4, because we're going to include the interface, but you need these 4 things. So I'm going to explain what each of these things do and, you know, how they work together. This is the interface. You guys know this is where you plug in your equipment, plug in your gear, and this is what sends it off to your computer. But what you don't know is these are the high-end stuff. These are what a lot of people in the industry like Drake, DaBaby, Frank Ocean, you know, a lot of people in the industry use. So first thing we have is a preamp. What is a preamp? This is a preamp right here. All right. What does a preamp do? Well, the preamp takes your vocal, right, and makes it from going like this it gets it high, and it adds some texture and some saturation and some warmness. Some preamps boost you and have an EQ. So the preamp basically boosts your mic, adds some warmness, enhances it by a lot. Think of like, if your mic was walking around and then picked up a double points, all right? That's what it does. They are a bit pricey, all right? This is the one I bought. This is the one a lot of people in studios use, and they use it because it really adds that fine touch to the vocal. Yes, it's pricey. Yes, it is really pricey. But if you're somebody that's going to record vocals at home, these are the only 4 things you need. If you can get these 4 things, you can record anybody. What does a compressor do? You guys already know what the compressor does. This compressor basically takes the low part of the vocal, the high part of the vocal, it pulls them in the middle so they're closer, so the vocal is more consistent. But what this real compressor does, and this is what a compressor looks like, an expensive one. Basically, it takes the boosted saturated mic, maybe it has the EQ on it depending on how good your preamp is. It takes this and then it compresses it. So let me get another thing. So this is how it would go. You have your mic, all right? If you have a studio mic, everything, you have a good sounding mic. You run it all the way over here with a cable, all right, to this. It's gonna take your mic. It's gonna be like, all right, this is your mic. Boom, we're boosting it up. We're getting that saturation, adding that color, making it sound really good. And then this right here, then it goes to the compressor. It's taking your boosted vocals and your compression, and with these two together, it makes it to where you can yell at the mic, you can yell, you can put your mouth against the mic, pause, and then yell, and you will not have any distortion whatsoever because everything's catched. The mic is boosted and it's avoiding you from having that distortion, because this is a analog compressor. It's not a VST. Our VST is good, so you still use them after all this stuff. Absolutely, but these things help. Then you run it to the interface right here, boom, and then what that does is it sends it all the way to your PC. This is all you need for a studio. So if anybody asks you like, I want to build a studio, what do I need? This is what you need to build a complete studio. This is what they have in it. I have my studio. I have a video of it right here. Here's a little preview of my studio. I finally complete. It took a while. Cost around like $5,000 to $6,000 for most of this equipment. Was it worth it? Yes, because I don't have to deal with that hiccup early with the, oh, go back to the car, go back to this, go back to that. I could just make good music. There's a reason why there's high-end stuff and low-end stuff, all right? Like I said, let me say this again before someone goes in the comments and they get mad. Can you make music with low-end stuff? Yes. But this right here, this whole thing is supposed to show you that you're gonna have to fight for it. And even if you fight for it, you could fight so hard that you won't come near any of this stuff. This is what everybody in the industry uses. Now we're gonna talk about the scams when it comes to vocal chains, vocal presets. So if you ever buy a vocal chain online, you'll have something like this. Fruity Limiter, some other plugin, some other plugin that's trash, another plugin that's trash. You have all these plugins. When you buy it, you don't really know what this does. I had people comment in my video, oh, I learned how to mix from vocal presets. How do you learn how to mix from this? How do you, what tells you? There's no readme file that says, oh, this does this and this does this. And you want to know why there's not a readme? There's not a readme because they're not going to teach you. Why are they going to teach you how to make something that they're making money off of? They're not going to be like, hey, this is how you use this and this and this is how you sweep. Because if you knew that, you wouldn't need it. I had somebody be like, oh yeah, I learned from vocal presets. And I was like, all right, I want you to delete all this. Pretend that all of this is gone. Boom. All that is gone right there. Don't exist no more. All right, now I want you to go ahead and build it from the ground up and tell me what everything does. Oh, you can't? Didn't seem like you learned anything. I'm gonna show you how to develop a good vocal chain. All right, so this is a good vocal chain. You can use this any plugins that you want. All right, I'm not gonna say any plugin names. If you want to know all the vocal sauce right here, I have videos. I'll put a link up here to a playlist of all my FL Studio tutorials and you can go through it. The first thing is removing noise. You need to remove noise from the recording. You could use plugins like NS1. I love this. I use it all the time. You could use Fruity Limiter has a noise gate function. You want to add a noise gate or a noise suppression. Basically what this does is it takes all the air in the room. You have air, you have a fan on, you have people yelling, you have this little like subtle sound that doesn't need to be in the recording. You need to remove that out there. All right. Then you add tuning. So you have your auto tune. you can swap these, right? A lot of people like to swap these. They believe, you know, I want to tune this, tune that. And does the order matter? Yes, because whatever's under it is whatever's affecting on top. So if you remove it, it adds auto tune to what you know, noise removed. If you auto tune, it noise removes what, you know, didn't get picked up through the auto tune. You could swap these and play around with them. But yeah, if you're not using auto tune, maybe you're making boom bap, maybe you have a good voice, and you could just skip this plugin and go into the next. Next would be EQing. So you EQ, you know, and what this EQ does is you're cutting the lows, you're pushing the lows off, getting the highs in, and, you know, maybe enhancing. After you do that, you know, you cut those bad tones, then you want to go in with a compressor. And what this compressor does is, now your vocals are noise removed. Now they sound clean. Now, or your vocals are noise removed. Your vocals are on key if you use auto-tune, or you just went straight to the EQ. You EQ'd all the bad frequencies, and now you compressed it. You took the quiet part and the loud part, and you pull them together so the vocal is consistent. After you get the compressor, now you need a DS. All right, so we're gonna put DS. So you need a de-esser. What does a de-esser do? Gets rid of S's. You need to get rid of all the S's. You can swap these too. I see a lot of people who like to swap. You know, they swap these plugins for each other. You can put the DS on the compress on the DS, mess around. Next, you can add another EQ, you know, just to get certain stuff, certain new things that got picked up from the compressor and all this stuff, you know, new frequencies that got added. All right. And then once you got this, you're done. You're done with that section. You're done. This is the cleaning portion. Now, this section over here is all how to make the, you know, how to make the vocals sit on beat. So this, you got to do this with the beat off, get it clean. All right. And you want your vocals to hit right here at this number. You see this number? This is -6 dB. You cannot go higher than -6 dB, because if you do, your vocals are going to clip. Unless that's what you want. You want to make the vocals clip, go for it. Do that. But after you clean it up, you know, you can use whatever plugins. There's different EQs, or different de-essers, there's different compressors, there's different auto-tune, there's different noise removal. They all have different sounds, and how you use them can affect the mix and make it sound real good and different. Just how there's different plugins for these. So after you get these done and it's good, and it's, you know, at this, you know, close to this level, and it's pretty consistent, then you want to add plugins to make it blend to the beat. So here's a list of plugins that you can, you know, add. So you can add reverb. You can add reverb. You can add delay the vocals. I don't think I'm gonna have enough room. We're just gonna abbreviate that. You can add distortion. You can add doublers. You see what I'm saying? You can go on and on and on. One thing I recommend though is you need to add a plugin that adds wideness to it. The reason why a lot of your, you know, vocals and your mixes sound bad is you have no wideness. This is your vocal straight in the middle, like that. It sits in the middle. It's not going out nowhere. You want your vocal to be out, you know, have some, you know, width to it, to be out there. You don't want it to just sit directly in the middle sounding bad. You want to have, you know, some width to it, and then you make sure that it doesn't go past that number, and then you're good. And if it sounds bad after that and it still doesn't sound good and it sounds drowned in the mix, it's because the beat is not in, you know, the right leveling format. It's not leveled properly. If you do all this stuff to the vocal and it sounds good and it's, you know, not passing that number, then it's the beat. The beat is not leveled. The producer has the highs, the lows, everything up. How do you fix that? You buy the beat. Buy the beat, guys. Buy the beat. You buy the beat. I know you ripped it off. You went to this site right here and you ripped the beat. I know you did that, but you need to buy the beat. Don't take an EQ, bring this down, and gut the beat, because the beat's not going to sound the same. Buy the beat from the producer, hit the producer up from the stems, or tell him if he could re-level the beat properly, and use that file. All right. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys learned something on this video. I hope it was helpful, but that is the secret to good vocals. All right. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. If you want to, you know, have, you know, mixing help, tutoring, I do that in my Discord server. Link below. Oh, get this mark out of here. Link below to join the Discord server. That's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. My name is Virtual Beats, and I'm signing out the simulation.